So let me introduce myself to you quickly. My name is Rita Skof-Peschetz. I am currently working with the WP Stars as a digital project manager. I'm a certified project manager, IPMA level D, and a certified Scrum Master, and a university certification for digital marketing and an academic marketing and sales manager. So I understand theoretically what I'm talking about. I work as an advertiser, producer, account project manager, and as a photographer, photo editor for many years. So I basically learned on the job what it means to manage projects. Sorry. So first rule of project management, be smart. SMART is an acronym for a specific, measurable, attractive, realistic, and timeable. Let's try this out. This project, or better, this presentation will be smart. In 20 minutes, you will get a short overview, a really short overview about project management in different techniques, frameworks, from classic to agile and hybrid. And you will have a look behind the scenes of working as a project manager in a digital agency. So, yeah. Let us put this in some milestones. The roadmap will help us. You will get a really short introduction in classic agile and hybrid project management. You will hear about Scrum, Kanban. As an example for agile project management, I will tell you about my daily business and how I implement these techniques and frameworks in a digital agency. I will show you my company tool Asana, which I work every day and we use for our projects. If you're interested or have questions, you can ask questions afterwards. So next. Let's start with something obvious. What is a project? The textbook will tell you this: the temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or service. What does this say to us? Let us break the sentence down in these components. A temporary. Every project has a point where it starts and assigns usually and a finish line. This may be a go live or something else. If it has no end, it's not a project. Bear in mind, a milestone could also be the end of the project. Endeavor undertaken. This phrase implies that every project requires some amount of work to be performed. The defined deliverable has to be developed and delivered. To create. This aspect as a project definition implies that there will be a necessary commitment of personal, material, and or financial resources or perform to the work. A unique product or service. This means you will deliver something unique, something that had never been conceived or built before. Projects have clearly defined outcomes. Successful projects require that the end product or result is well understood before the project begins. The big picture, who, what, when, where, how, and how much aspect of the project must be defined before the beginning. Project contains risks. The fact that the deliverable of the project is unique and take time to create bring with it in an element of risk. It's okay. In fact, it can be argued that risk is necessary, but risk must be actively managed for the project to succeed. Finally, it's important to note that most projects have external stakeholders. There is typically someone who ultimately wants the product or service built or delivered. This can be a customer, an agency, or end user. Regardless, there are almost always outside elements that want the unique thing that the project is tasked with creating and delivering. Let's look at the big picture. Back to the big picture, sorry. There are some aspects of projects that are important to know. There are temporally, factual, and social, also selected, and context. we learned that the project has a start and an end event. Before the project starts, we call this the pre-project phase. We start planning, learn about the core of the project, and that the when, where, and how will be delivered. In this phase, we talk to the stakeholder, and in the best case to the customers, as they will be the target group. Then the actual project begins, and developed implementation of the deliverables will be completed. At the end of the post-project phase, the project will be resolved and closed. The lesson learned will be reflected upon, and this will help you get ready for the next one. Facts. It's important to see goals, and more importantly, not goals, which should be reached or not reached. Perhaps the not goals could become goals in the future, but they are not part of the project now. Also defining main tasks which are important to achieve the goals, and break down the project in smaller, easier handled tasks. A very important aspect is to set up the budget for the project to be in scope. Lastly, the relationship between other projects and tasks is important to know, because they have value that added to your own project. So listen and learn. In a social aspect, you can see how your organization of your project works, and how the members of your team will be in relationship with each other. You see the project sponsor is out of the bubble, so he has to be informed, but he's not part of the team. The project leader is in the bubble and coordinates the project members. They have special roles in the team, and this they have to fulfill. Take a look at the environment of the project, how and what influences the project, and what they are feeling toward the project. Are they positive, negative, or neutral to the project, and how will this affect the project? There you have to look closely, try to influence the thoughts and feelings. Keep positive, positive. Try to make the negative or neutral into a positive. So, sorry. No, this one. What does the project management do? Project management is planning, organization, monitoring and control of all aspects of project, as well as the management and leadership of all stakeholders in order to achieve the project goals safely within the specific time, cost, performance, and quality framework. Planning is mental anticipation of action steps, for example, goals, risks, deadlines, resources, organization of classification of tasks and complements, as well as handling of work process, for example, information, communication, coordination, maintain control of the project processes, controlling content, quality checks, processes. Leading as selection, guardians, and promotion of others, and make decisions. The core of every project will be visualized in the magic triangle here. Every corner of the triangle is in direct context to the other aspect. If you change aspect, you will change the whole triangle, and in the worst case, you will reduce the quality of the project. So you have to balance all the aspects. If something goes in another direction, you have to work and look that it will be balanced again. Yes. In classic project management, the scope is set and time and costs are planned, but only estimated. It is plan driven. In agile methods, the scope is more flexible and time and costs are set and fixed. This is vision driven. How does agile work? Let's start with Scrum. Scrum is easy to understand, but difficult to master. Scrum is an agile project management framework for developing innovative products and services. Scrum is not a technique or a definitive method. It is rather a framework within which teams can employ various processes, techniques, and methods based on the specific needs of the unique situation. Furthermore, there are three main focus area that the Scrum framework implements. Focus on value. Everything is done with the agile mindset focused on the value is created. If there is value, then do it. If there's no value, then don't do it. Focus on collaboration. Scrum frameworks focused on teaming the people with the right skills and the right mindset for creative collaborations by providing the right culture environments to enable and amplify strong collaboration. Focus on adaptability. Scrum framework deals with the fact that requirements do change quickly and frequently. Therefore, teams and deprioritize existing work when it is realized that it is not valuable. For that reason, the agile mindset gives special emphasis on adaptability. So, yes. Scrum versus Waterfall Method. Waterfall Method was known as, is also known as Gantt method, was invented by Henry Gantt around 1910, original for manufacturing and construction industry. In this method, every single step in the project is planned and written down in detail. Every milestone, delivery day, task, feature, and on and so on and so on. Furthermore, the Waterfall Method follows a sequentially linear process and was most popular vision of the system developed life cycle in CDLC until the 1990s. There are 5 stages in the Waterfall Method, and development teams cannot move on to the next stage without completing the previous stage. Also, development teams cannot go back to prior stage without starting to the whole process from the beginning. Waterfall methods work very well for a simply unchanging project. Their linear and rig nature was best suited for the manufacturing and construction industry, for which it was originally designed for, as they are highly structured and requirements don't change or cannot be expensive to incorporate. However, the same linear and rig nature of the Waterfall method introduced challenges in the software industry, where requirements change very quickly and frequently. Working software needs to be delivered repeatedly and frequently in the SDLC to get customers' feedback. There may be a right amount of uncertainty problems or are complex, and solutions are object orientated. So talk about Scrum teams. They're really small. They have to be 3 to 9 people. A Scrum team must have a Scrum Master. They implement the Scrum into the team. Then there is the product owner, creates the backlog and keeps the project running. And then is at least one Scrum member who actually did the work. Then you have a completely Scrum team with at least 3 people. Scrum forces self-organization. Every member of the team is responsible for delivering their work. In Scrum, you have a lot of rituals to communicate around the project. Sprints are usually short. They are 1 to 4 weeks to see what works and what does not work, so you can change your strategy quickly and you do not lose a lot of time or resources. All stakeholders are well informed, but the task cannot be changed during a sprint. It's not possible. In the next step, I will show you the differences between Scrum and Kanban. Scrum is an agile framework. It addresses complex problems. Kanban comes from lean, is a lean method, and aim to eliminate waste activities and give team structure. Scrum is time boxed. This is sprints and sprint plannings, and Kanban has no time restricts. It's continuous flowing, just in time planning. In Scrum, you have sprints forecasting to see how much work can be done and finished by the end of the sprint. Kanban's members commit and finish a start task before picking up a new one. That's so the main differences. And then you have different meetings, but they are quite similar. So you have the sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprints review, and retrospective. And in Kanban, you have the daily meeting, replenishment, delivery planning, several delivering, operational review, strategy review. The board resets after each sprint at Scrum. The board remains continuous on Kanban. The number of tasks is set before every sprint in Scrum, and Kanban, when the task is completed, you can start with the new one. It's always flowing. The Scrum team cannot add tasks items to the sprint during a sprint. The backlog is set, and you just can after the sprint review tell the Scrum Master what issues you have and learn out of it. So in reality, in the next step I will show you the difference. But yeah, in reality, in the borderline are blurry when to combine the methods and frameworks. Modern project management cannot ignore agile methods anymore, and finding the right mixture for the project is the key. Phases could be agile or classic, whatever is the best for the particular deliverable. And so you can see here you have the yellow one or the classic one, and the agile one and the blue one. But if it's necessary for the project, you can mix it up and make it in another structure. The main issue is do it for the project, do what is best for the project. So now it's time to show you the way we work. Sorry. Was not what I tried to do, but I will do this. So this is my Asana board, with which we are working on it. We work with a tool called Asana. It's a Kanban board which allows you to work in an efficient way. We usually start with the concept phase, where we defined where all the deliverables and how and in what time they can be done. Also, we plan the resources, how many and how, what kind of manpower do we need to get the project done. After the pre-project phase, we set up a backlog. You can see it here. Do you see my mouse? I don't know. You can see here the backlog, and then if you there we have a setup of tasks. They are necessary. This is the ground backup, what we are doing. And during the project, we also have daily stand-ups, about 50 minutes. And we ask usually Scrum questions. What did I do yesterday to reach the project goal? What did I do today? What will I do today to reach the project goals? And are there any roadblocks which prevent me doing the work? The team always knows if everything is okay, or if not, they can help out each other and find solution and fix problems. Once a week we have a global meeting where we talk about every project in a loop, and also once a week we have a PM issue fix, and where we plan resources and talk about planning the next step. The board is easy to understand and easy to use. In the backlog, they're all tasks, they have to be done. You can put the backlog, if you're working with the board, you can take a task and put it into process, and then you can assign it to yourself, and you can write something interesting. If there's something to know for other team members, you can write there something interesting in the task, and work on it. And if you are done, you put it on done, and assign this task to your project manager, whoever created the task, who is responsible for this project. And so the project manager knows, okay, great, this job is done, and make a short check, is everything fine? And then you can put it into review if it is on at the customer, and if there are any corrections, you can put it into corrections. And if it is done, you can complete the task and say, okay, everything is fine, task is good. We allow our developer to create tasks. So they have the possibility to put all their informations on the board, what is really good and works very nice. And I think the programmer and the developer likes it very, very much. So we work mostly hybrid and decide with every project what is the best to work. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you very much. I have a first question, Rita.
Okay.
You said the developers like this kind of. What are the really advantages for developers working in such a hybrid project management style?
I think it's easier to work with small tasks, and you can put it away out of your mind. If you have all the tasks in the backlog and you say, oh my God, but you can put it on a date and say, I have to do about 3 or do 2 for this in time, and I know, okay, good. I can put it into process. I know someone is working on it, so I don't have to work on it. It's fine. And then something is done. You have a list of things, they are done, and that's great, because you know you have done a lot of work, and the project is running further. And I think that's the value for the developer. So they see the small parts and also the big picture at the same time.
Yeah. Sebastian, can I ask you, how do you work project management wise?
Yeah, we use the same method. I'm also a certified Scrum Master, and we are working with some kinds of combination of Jira, but we are currently using a big Jira task for all of our customers, and we sprint 1 week. So on Monday, everybody can take tasks or give some up. So we are planning only the week, and this week is frozen. Yeah, it depends. Sometimes there's something critical, but normally they know what to do on the week. And we have also some phase and some quality and all of this. And by bigger projects, no, I want to ask the question first. When I'm allowed to ask Rita?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
To ask me.
Yeah, do you have fixed team per project, or are everybody's working in every team, or what do you recommend?
When we start with a team, we have usually 2 developers to work on the same project. So they are fixed, but we have during the meetings, the global meetings, we're talking about all the projects, and so everybody's in the loop. And there are also if there are projects, they are finished and there are some issues with, I don't know, cookie banner or something like that, to refresh, then we put it on an extra board. And this is like your board, this is the collaboration board where every thingy got into, and then it goes the same procedure, and there you can everybody take task and say, yeah, it's mine, I take it and I do it and I finish it, and great.
Okay, super. Okay. Yeah, we start because our projects are growing, and if we have some, I don't know, around about 10,000 euros and more projects, we started to have a fixed group per project. So front-end developer, back-end developer, graphic designer, and a project manager. And we do also some daily meetings. In the whole group, we have a planning meeting on Monday morning and 2 dailies with the whole team, but 29 people in 15 minutes, we are ready for the dailies. That's very efficient. And some projects can decide if they want to organize them with dailies or separate boards or something like this. But currently, yeah, everything is changing all the time. Yeah.
Of course.
Yes. Cool. Thank you.
Sebastian, what is your split? How many project management employees do you have, and how many devs? Roundabout.
We have roundabout, I would say 3.5 project manager for website and web shops, and roundabout developer, I think 10, 11.
Cool. I would like to know those half people. Yeah.
Yeah, I am one of this half or this. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. I'm also in projects, and yeah, but we started to separate the roles. In the beginning, we have a project manager. They did SEO, SEA, website, web shops, and everything, and that's not a good case. And now we started to build up roles. They are only doing one topic. So now we have a full-time only website and web shop project manager, and we have some, they do only one or a second topic because we are changing right now. Not everything is, we cannot change everything very fast. And yeah, but we want some roles that are doing all the time the same, and they are able to grow in their and the skill project management, because it's a skill you have to develop, and also the skill in a project manager have to have some skills in every area, and it's very the concept, the websites, the web shops, and it's the main contact point for the customer, and it's an interesting role.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Martin.
I have a question for Rita. Rita, how do you get your developers to use the methods and the tools?
I started to do the board when I started at the WP Stars. They used the board as a checklist. They only have one row and checked everything at. And I was so, oh, you have a board, use the board. And I built a board and show them how it works. And I told them every day, hey, use it. It's great. Try it. Please try it. And they do, and they like it. And so we stay with it, and yeah.
I think the one feedback we got from the developers was that it's really great to see which tasks have to be done, and which had been done, and which are in processed, and so on. So to really on one side easily see that not those 100 tasks have to be done, but only 20, because the other ones are at the client or the project manager or are being corrected or whatever.
Someone wants to share my board again. I can share my board again. So.
I don't know if Semyon means sharing the board,
Yeah,
like
URL
exporting it.
or yeah. Or a
Yeah,
screenshot.
I don't know if
It's sad like this because it's so it starts. So this is the beginning of a project. It's a backlog and in process, done in review and correction, and so and usually it's filled with tasks everywhere because they are in different stages of the process, and yeah, so it looks like concept phase. Maybe you have shown.
Can you show the other tasks by scrolling down, please, the Semyon?
Scrolling down. Okay, so my tasks: design setup, server setup, theme setup, header, footer, upload, download setup, contact areas. DSGVO setup.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the customer and on the project because not every project is the same.
Yeah, and then you have like in this testing and go live checklist, and yeah, and you have your go live, and everything is fine. Yeah, that's I think it's the core of every project. Then you have to decide at every point of the project, do we need more tasks or less? Maybe less. Maybe there's something the customer does not need, so throw it away. You don't need it. It's just confusing. Yeah. So
I think the important thing is the retrospective and that every team are able to change some things. They are not needed in this project, or they are working better in this structure or in this meeting structure or in this board or whatever. And if you our whole company do this, some decisions we do in the whole team or in the whole management team. And then we decided, okay, that's the problem. What are solutions? And okay, let's try them. Are they helpful for us or not? So all my thinkings in my presentation came originally from Scrum and Kanban methods. We have this problem, team, what can we do?
Yeah.
So, and what we can decide what we should change or do.
Yeah.
And then we reflect, and is this helpful or not? And yeah, it's this mindset that's very helpful.
Yeah, you only can do new stuff if the team will do it. If the team does not willingly do the new methods, it will not work.
Yeah, I implemented Scrum and Kanban in a big software development company with 1,800 people, and every team was different. And every team did its own setup, and it was very good to see. And it works for them, and for every group, it's working different. And so, yeah, this was very interesting.
Yeah, and it's also when some of the team members says, "Hey, it's not good. I don't like that. Can we change it? Can we change the sequence of the rows?" And so yes, why not? I just
Absolutely.
put it in and say, let's try it out. And so at first we have I think, yeah, we have it like this. We should have it like this.
Can't see it anymore. Just tell us.
Now the correction, because the developer see just so you can see it. Oh, sorry. so the developer often only sees like this. So you see backlog, in process, done, and correction. And because review is we have correction and review in the other direction. So it was logic for me, but it's clearly for the developer. They need the correction before the review, because what's in review is out of their mind. It's not necessary for them to know what is in review. They know, is there a correction? And so we change it. And this was an input from a developer, and yeah, let's do it. It's a small thing and it will help you. Great.
I had another question, Rita, for you, if it's okay. In how far do you involve your clients into your project management methods and maybe also tools? Do you give them access to this Asana board? Do you tell them how you do the management, the project management, or do you just do it and you don't tell them and doesn't make that them their concern?
It depends. It depends on the client and how much the client want to be involved in something. There are some clients, they love it. They write into the board and give comments and chats with the developers about everything. That's great. And then there are clients, that I don't know what to do with that. They're a little bit afraid of them. And so I try to give them another option to communicate in their way, so they have no fear to work with a tool they don't know and implement it in my tool then afterwards.
Cool, thanks.
Cool.
So,
Thank you very much. Also very interesting topic.